Welcome to MMA Fancast. My name's Luke Payson, and I'm honored to have back on the show the flyin Hawaiian Josh Perreira. Josh, welcome back.
Thank you for having me, sir. Nice to see you.
Always great to see you in person or on video like this. You are a really up and coming, top ranked pro 3-0 bantamweight. No, flyweight. I'm sorry, 125. Flyweight. You just had a really nice win for Ohio Combat League. Second round TKO. Talk us through the finish and overall your thoughts on the fight.
Yeah, Luke Chokin, very tough, a good striker and a good grappler, but being as consistent as I am in the gym, and just my consistency of fighting allowed me to stay ready and be ready for anything that he threw at me. First round, I switched back from southpaw unorthodox. He's switching with me as well. I go for a couple of leg kicks. I start using my head movement to avoid his strikes. I get him hurt with a body kick, and he throws a big right hand, and I slip out of the way. And I got a little too overconfident. I was on him, and I threw a kick from southpaw, and he threw a spinning back fist at the same time, which caught me on the chin. Not too flush, but still enough to knock me off balance and um, made me realize, hey, I'm a little too close. After that, I just was on him. I was flowing between the clinch, stuffing his takedowns, getting right in the position to throw strikes and getting right out of the way. Even hit a spinning wheel kick closer to the end of the first. I caught ball of the foot on his close to the top of his head. If it was heel catching flush, it would have been a much more devastating strike. But he is very tough. There were a couple of times where I thought I had him, but the ref was like, "Oh, he's moving." He was able to block up and he cover up and go for singles and drive me back into the fence. I actually messed up my hand in the fight as well, doing ground and pound. He turned his head into me and just caught the thumb, tore a tendon. But we'll be back to. I'm still training, but not throwing the right hand, of course. But yeah, just finished the sequence. Uh, Halfway through the second round, hit a knee. He went to turtle position. I went to mount. I threw up a couple of submission attempts, but I ended it with ground and pound, with elbows and the strikes. But very tough fighter, and just gonna heal up and get ready for the next one.
Well, you make winning really what it should be, which is flowing from one position to another, dealing with some adversity. So congratulations to battling through that. How much pain was the tendon giving you during the fight, or was that something that you started feeling once your adrenaline calmed down?
I I didn't it didn't hurt. And even now it doesn't really hurt as much. More of just really irritating. Felt like a rubber band snapped in my hand. And I just remember I was on the stool with Matt. He gave me the bottle of water, and I was like, okay, I'm good. I stood up with him, and we kind of engaged the crowd. And I kind of felt my hand. I felt it popping in and out, and I was like, oh, okay. There's something definitely wrong, but thank goodness I can't feel it, so I'm just gonna keep throwing. But yeah, when you're presented with those challenges, you get injured in a fight or something. How bad do you want? You keep going. I know we talked about my last LFA fight when Itzik Yakubov flashed up that triangle, and had to hyperextend. It got to the point where it was hyperextended. It was snap, crackling, and popping, and I just endured. And that's what you got to do. You're allowed to quit in the gym, but not necessarily in fights, of course. But yeah, just gonna heal up and I'll be ready for the next one.
Well, I think you're always incredible on the show because you talk so clearly. You have a great mind behind your physical attributes. Not only are you 3-0, they're all by finish. And a finishing rate at particularly flyweight is a big deal. I mean, you get a win whatever way you can, but the fact that you're a submission right now, I think you have 2 stoppages due to strikes, ground and pound, and 1 from submission. And it sounds like those both of your strengths. You flow between both of those attacks very well. It's very hard for somebody to be both defending against strikes on the ground and submissions. And so obviously picking and choosing works really well. Any idea on what your recovery is like? Are you looking at January, February, March for kind of your next fight, like as far as your thumb goes, or well, what's the game plan in 2024?
We're gonna go right back into it January or February. Uh, Even now, my hand is slowly getting better. I'm slowly starting to be able to pick up stuff, you know. At least I'm stuck like this, of course. But yeah, just still gonna train. I'm still hitting the dam with Coach Myers and Matt Brown. Um, Still hitting the bag, of course, just working on the jab and different variations of the jab and the hook, and still keeping the intensity high, just not grappling. So as soon as my thumb feels better, I'll be going right back into full contact. But yeah, January, I know APFC, Anthony Pettis Fight Championships have messaged me and my manager, Rick Voorhees. LFA is always interested. But you know, maybe rattle off a couple more co-main or main events around Ohio, my adopted hometown now. But yeah, just staying ready, even through injury.
Well, and that's a great thing that anybody can pick up from this. When you're injured, you have to balance resting and accepting what you can't do. Sometimes fighters don't do well, they end up hurting themselves more. But the mistake some athletes make is they don't train what they can still train. And so a good mental health strategy is do what you can do and do what you can influence and accept what you can't influence. So you got to let your thumb heal on its own, but you can still do all the other stuff that you're still able to do. So great attitude, great mindset. Of course, you train with the immortal Matt Brown, and his mindset and coaching and training is so top notch. But hats off to you and your fight team. Just incredible win. You've always been an up and coming fighter to watch. I've been honored to start talking to you when you were amateur going pro and then building up. So congratulations on an impressive win. You're 3-0, undefeated. Can't wait to have you back on before your next fight.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, man.
Thank
I'll, if it's all right, I can go shout out a couple of people if that's cool.
Sure, of course.
Of course. I want to thank my coaches, Matt Brown, Mark Coleman, Shane Nietzsche, my striking coach, Cameron Knight, my jiu-jitsu coach. Also, Dante Leon and Max Hansen out of Adamas, and Kelly out of Adamas as well. They always help me up in Toledo. My teammates, Miles Robinson, Cameron Jenkins, Lucas Siebert, who competed and beat the crap out of Gavin. Just styled on him. I know Gavin was stalling a lot, but hey, maybe we'll see this fight in the in a pro fight. Who knows? I want to thank my sponsors: Immortal Coffee, Immortal Diet Optimization, Immortal Meals, Aloha Beef Chips, 511, Rude Dog, and Thrax. Also, Max Effort as well. But thank you so much for having me on, brother. Really appreciate you.
Always great. All those people, incredible shout out. I'm still a little bummed I didn't get to interview your coach, Matt Brown, when he was out at 513 Fight Night for 247. I got to give him a little fist bump when Big Cam got a huge front kick knockout against the heavyweight.
Oh, Anderson Silva style, yeah.
Yes, it was incredible. So I gave your coach a fist bump. Would have loved to interview him, but you mentioned Adamas, and obviously 247 has been putting on great events. You haven't fought for them right now, but you know they've been great, and they had Dante Leon as a main event a couple months ago. So I knew a lot of those names. Hats off to everybody that's in your corner, both physically and also from support and sponsorships. As always, thanks so much. If you like this type of content, please like and subscribe, particularly if you're a big fan of the Flyin Hawaiian. Josh Perreira, thanks so much, buddy.
Thank you, Luke. Always appreciate you.
Always appreciate you. Thank you. Mahalo.